Okay, this is a cool one here. It's anonymous.
Glenn, Shelley, John, Jess, and everyone in this community, thank you. Yesterday, we sold down our ETF portfolio and fully offset our mortgage. As we head into the childcare years, this feels like it gives us a lot more flexibility to enjoy life on our own terms, which has become more important to us lately. We only started investing seriously outside of super at the end of 2020, so getting to 100K with about 19K of that coming from returns has been a pretty eye-opening experience. It really drove home the impact of consistency and compounding through index ETFs. I know there are other approaches that might have made more sense on paper, but personal finance is personal. The peace of mind we feel now is worth more than I expected, and recent commentary about holding non-tax deductible debt were a real catalyst. I've learned a lot from this group and really appreciate people sharing their experiences, keen to keep learning, and once we're through the next stage, working out how to keep improving from here. Money wasn't something really talked about growing up, and like that to be different for our child.
Now, if we put the next slide up and have a look at their current situation today, and we'll talk about this a little bit because it's a great situation here that they've got going.
So male 33 with 189 in super plus 291 in defined benefit. Female 37 with 175 in super. Household income around 260 in a normal year outside of recent parental leave period. 7-month-old planning 3 days a week childcare from 12 months, considering both working 4 days a week from 2027 during childcare years. PPOR 1.34 mil, happily fully offset. Unbelievable.
Yeah, like I wanted to share this because it's an example, and you might not have a household income of 260K, but it's an example of we're on this speck of dirt in the middle of infinity. It doesn't really matter what you do. Go work part-time while we're in childcare.
Yeah.
We own the house. We've got a good income anyway. Between two people working part-time, what's the problem? Like, you will get shade from friends, from family, but they don't know your situation.
No, they've achieved what they wanted, and they're not yet 40. So it's a great outcome. Sounds like they're only going to have one child, and they're going to enjoy that time period by working less, which is great. They got the Aussie dream, as they used to call it, was you get to retirement and you've got no debt on your house, essentially. So your running costs in your retirement is lean. They've already achieved that.
Yeah.
Unless they want to upgrade. So, yeah, it's all cream from here, really.
Yeah, and I will say, like, off the back of the segment we did before about the property growth, just looking, they've basically had about 20K of growth in the portfolio from returns. We don't know the total details, but that could be 4.5% to 5%. It sounds low. I don't know if it includes the distributions, whether they'll put into the portfolio or taken home, not sure. And it could have been a sequencing issue. But either way, over that period, they've likely outperformed the cash rate given that it was so low in the early 2000s. But what it kind of means, and what I would say to them is, absolutely, you guys are done with big rocks in your life. Everything from here, John, it's we want to and we would like to because, male 33 with almost 300K defined benefit and let's call it just under 200 in accumulation, they may be like military or government to have that whopping defined benefit still at that age. Which is fine. But, I just want to tell them absolutely go for it. As some general housekeeping, what I would then do now is go back and do your budget or spending plan, or anyone who wants to do something radical like both work 4 days a week and have a bit of a lifestyle vibe. If you've got some of the big rocks done, I did a What Would Glenn Do a couple of months ago where her and her husband, the same thing. They'd worked really hard, young kids. They're both working 3 days a week, own their home. Like, it's all G, baby.
Yeah.
But what I'll do, I would look to do a budget and spending plan based on the net take home of one or both working part-time, 4 days a week from 2027, so next year. Have a look at what amounts left over after we do that. And then just think about, well, what are our other financial goals that we want to achieve? I would have to assume that they've got an emergency fund done. The only reason I'm saying to run a budget still, and I think they would because people who do this well with money generally aren't sloppy, I would probably factor in potentially an amount of nominal rent or mortgage repayments, John, and even just sacking it to super just as a discipline, or look at other goals. They've got the PPOR fully paid off. Is there another house that will need to happen in 5 or 6 years? And if the answer is yes, well, maybe we keep being cash heavy.
As an upgrade, you mean?
As an upgrade. Because remember, everything we do now is we want to.
Yeah.
Or is there any other big goals like we want to, when the toddler is a toddler or 3 or 4 years old, we're going to go around Australia, do the caravan thing. I don't know. I wanted to show this one because they've done a great job and it should be an inspiration to others to actually build and design your life how you want to live it, that you and your partner have agreed on, and then just go from there. But I'll still probably burn in some type of forced cost to something.
Yeah, it sounds like they're pretty disciplined anyway to get to where they are. I think this gives a lot of hope and inspiration and motivation to those in their 20s, no matter where you're from. They're 30 years from official retirement, but in their own head they might already be on easy street. They're comfortable, right?
Yeah, and this is the whole what is official retirement.
Yeah, but according to the government, we're saying, okay, 65-ish.
Well, no. According to the government, you get age pension benefits at 67, but you can access your super from 60 if you need some of it.
Transition. Yeah. So
but these people, they're not even in their situation. They don't need to concern themselves with any government.
No, I know, but I'm just putting a peg in the sand to say, well, most people want or should retire around that mid-60s age.
Right.
Say, okay, that's 30 years for them. That's an extremely long time.
Yeah.
To be able to sort of work our way through. So there is massive opportunity to say, right, I can go and build my ETFs again if I want. I can go and buy investment properties or I can do what I want if I want to upgrade my home. The thing I like about this also is they mention we haven't paid down our mortgage. We've fully offset our mortgage. There's a big difference there because it gives them choice to be able to pivot. If they want to all of a sudden upgrade, they can take all that cash out of the offset and use that as a deposit.
That's right, for the next home to live in.
And keep this property and rent it out still with that debt. So that's smart.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go and spend it all in the offset. These guys are dialed in. They're not going to do that.
And the only other thing I wanted to point out, John, was I know there are other approaches that make more sense on paper, but personal finance is personal. Life is not a spreadsheet.
No.
You'll agonize yourself trying to plug your life and your goals into a formula.
Yeah.
We always have to set out and say, we want to live this way. We've got the option to live this way. Then we plug the money into this way.
Yeah. No, it's the big C word for them.
Yeah, that's right. And also, if one of them isn't happy with their current job or career, part of the strategy could be we're going to save up a cash buffer of 150 grand over the next few years so one of us can retrain.
Yeah, it sounds like male 33 with a defined benefit might stay where they are.
Maybe, yeah.
But, we've got choice to pivot vocation as well. So, well done.
Well, good on you guys. Thanks for being part of the Facebook group and listening to the show. Hey, it's Glenn here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You made it to the end. Can I ask a favor? Can you hit that like button and maybe hit subscribe if you want to get notified when we release further videos just like this one, whether you watch the Money, Money, Money podcast or Retire Right. And remember, if you want to learn more about investing, I've got an investing book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, and there's a link in the description to get your hands on a copy. Thank you so much. Bye.